Okay, this is Math 140, section 2.1. And in this section we're going to talk about rectangular coordinates and different graphs. But before we're able to graph, we have to be able to read the data that we potentially graph. So if we had some example data as this, presented to us in a chart like such, let's say X and Y, A and B, let's say a video, and that video could be $5, or you have gas that goes into a car. In order to graph this, we're going to have to graph it as an ordered pair, which would resemble this, XY with the open parentheses. So just so you guys see it, taking the data that's in this, this chart here and making it an ordered pair, something that we could technically graph, be like this. So this is the example of ordered pairs. On page 182 in your guys' book, you will also see additional examples of ordered pairs or these relationships. Another one just to verbalize that you have there would be the VHS or the rental sales, and the amount that's what they're going to be spending on the rental sales, which is $23. Also your sport tickets, that would be $50. So for your sports tickets, you have $50. So the ordered pair for that would look just like that. And I think you guys probably get the grasp of this. It's pretty straightforward. Just make sure you know how to write them in the ordered pair, because eventually you'll start graphing them. So with your XY chart, Cartesian plane, of course your X variable and your Y variable. Your X is what's going to be first, and of course that's on this axis here, your X axis, and then your second will be on your Y axis. Now that we've been familiarized with ordered pairs, let's go ahead and try and practice graphing a few. Here's your X and your Y graph. So we're going to look at our first X variable, which is 1. So you're just going to, let's make a couple ticks on each side. So this would be 1, this would be 2, this would be 3, this would be -1, -2, and -3, right? And likewise for your Y axis, it'll have the same thing. We have 1, 2, 3, -1, -2, and -3. For your point of 1, 2, you're going to start off with your X at being 1, and then you're going to move up 2 spaces to where your Y axis is 2. So you're going to have a point right there. Moving to your next one, we're at -1, -2. So we're going to move to the left on your X-axis 1 point, and then we're going to move down on your Y-axis 2 points. So your point would be roughly right there. Moving over to your next graph, we've got 2, 1. So think of this as your X and this is your Y. Your X in this case is 2, so we're going to move 2 ticks over to the right, and then you're going to move 1 tick up from the origin. Right here is your origin. Probably should have stated that. Which is 0, 0. That's when your X is 0 and your Y is 0, right where they intersect, right here in the middle. But back to this point here, 2, 1. We move 2 ticks over to the right, and then we move up 1 on your Y. Gives you a point right there. Again, this is your origin on your next graph. And the point -2, -1, we're going to move 2 ticks on your X-axis to the left, and then we're going to move 1 tick down on your Y-axis, and your point will be right there. Okay? Another thing to notice is we have a lot of the same numbers. We have 1, 2, -1, -2 for these two graphs here. But the points are definitely different, right? The points over here is up on top. This point's on the bottom. So make sure you notice that this one's positive, so it's above your x-axis regarding your y variable there. If that was negative, like this one here, then you're going to be below your x-axis, which is right here. And again, kind of a similar thing. If you're looking at just your x variables, the 1 and the -1, it's going to put you on the left or the right-hand side of your y-axis, depending on if your x value is negative or not. Another thing to notice is the order of these ordered pairs, hence the name ordered pair. That certainly does matter, because you always read this first one as your x-axis and your second one as your y-axis. So one is going horizontally on your x, you're going left or right, and then on the y, your second ordered pair is going vertically on your y-axis. So those are different ways to look at it. Just make sure you understand how the ordered pairs work. And simply note that the order does matter. So x, y is not equal to yx. And if that doesn't make sense with variables, think of it as in numbers. So 1, 2 is not going to give you the same point as 2, 1. So look at this point here and that point there. You have 1, 2 and 2, 1, but they're not in the same spot. Okay, next we're going to talk about your different quadrants. There's 4 quadrants on your XY plane. You have quadrant 1. In quadrant 1, this is going to refer to positive x and y points. So that'd be like 1, 1. Anything that's when they're both positive. And then we're going to have quadrant 2, which is here. And on this one, you're going to have a negative x value and a positive y value. Your next will be quadrant 3, which is here. And hopefully in this one you see that what's going to happen, you're going to have both your x and your y be negative. And then finally your 4th quadrant, which is here of course. And this, you're going to have a positive x and a negative y. Okay? This is further discussed on page 183 in your book if you need further explanation. But it's basically just stating anything over here, you have a positive x value. So this first term should be positive. So that means quadrant 1 and quadrant 4. Quadrant 4 and quadrant 1, they both have a positive x value, right? And if you were to still be looking at your x-axis, your quadrant 2 and your quadrant 3, they should have a negative x value, which they do. That's because right here in the middle is your origin, which is your point 0, 0. So make sure you know that as well. I'm sure you all do already. Just to put it out there though. So if you go to the left of 0 on your x-axis, this direction, you're going to have a negative number for your x value, right? And just same thing, if you go to the right of 1 or of 0, you'll have a positive x value. And then the same logic is behind going up and down on your y-axis. Up here, this whole section of your y on either side of your x-axis will give you a positive y value. Anything down here in either one of these two quadrants will give you a negative y value.